Good morning, people of Midlothian and beyond. Welcome to June's Trekker Walk information. We'll be doing the Trekker Walk on Wednesday the 24th of June, leaving here at 10 AM. Whereas here, we're in Ormiston Station car park, railway station, just outside the village of Ormiston, just on the Pencaitland Railway line, which isn't a railway line anymore. And it's not a railway line station car park, but that's where we'll be meeting. As I said, Wednesday the 24th of June, and we'll leave at 10 o'clock. So let's go and have a wee look at what we'll see on the walk. Now, did I say how long this one was going to be? 6.5 miles. And just actually, even before we get out the car park, we have the station gardens here. There is a little web or a contact, stationgardens@gmail.com. And I think there's 40 raised beds here that the local community take care of. Places to sit, chill out. This is Iona Campbell's wonky patch. A nice little place to hang out on a sunny day. And this is quite cool, one of the old railway signal towers. Still with the ladder there. The core of the present day Ormiston village was created around about the 18th century by a chap called Cockburn, who settled in the area and helped create the village, or expand it anyway from what was there. Initially the local trades, things like weaving, distilling, brewing, until that they found coal, and then coal became the big local industry, because it lies within the Lothian coal basin. The little village. I've just popped down here so you can see the wee bridge, or the wee tunnel in the water. Back up again. This is why it takes me hours to get around these things. Always veering off somewhere to look at something. Anyway, so yeah, once the coal was found, the village expanded even more, and that's sort of what you see today. And the coal, they had pits in Limeylands, I think it's how you pronounce it, Tynemount and Oxenford, and they opened in the 1890s, and they worked until the 1960s, when of course lots of these railway lines were closed. It was raining last night, but it appears quite a good path, so even with the rain, it's pretty dry still. Hopefully in a couple of weeks when we do the walk, summer will arrive again. It's been a bit on and off. Hopefully we'll have a nice day for the walk, because the shadows through the trees is really nice. It's a bit like last month's walk, where we walked through part of Preston Hall Estate. It's more of a woodland adventure, this one. Not quite as Amazonian jungle as last month though. Look at that there. I thought that was a crow when I was walking past, because the sun was behind it. A nice view from here. You can see the Forth. You might not be able to see it on the camera. It's just there, across the Fife. Okay, time. The forecast was for rain, cloud. It's roasting. I'm sure someone can tell me what the little hut's for. Wait a minute, there's a wee plaque up here. In loving memory of Jean Thompson. It's very hard to read, it's very worn. I think it looks out on where the mills were. That's the idea of it. This must have been a huge bottle of champagne. The size of that cork. There are little spots on this trail where you can they've popped benches here and there. Here's another one. Quite easy to read this one. In loving memory of Robert Thomas Yule, 1938 to 2019, the best is yet to be. There's a little bench as well, a horse, and you're looking out. Well, from here it's hard to see, but obviously once the field has been ploughed, there's another nice view. It's a very musical walk, this, with the birds singing and chatting to one another. What they're saying is, here he comes, hide if you don't want to be on Facebook. That old barn, cool. Now we're in the grounds of Winton Castle, which is a 17th century Renaissance mansion with roots spanning nearly 9 centuries. The lands were granted to Philip de Seyton in 1150 by King David I. The Seyton family built an initial fortress on the site around 1480. So it's all been happening around here for quite a while. So we've just came through Pencaitland village, and Pencaitland comes from an old Brythonic language, and translated it means head of the wood, I think. And as you can see, there's lots of woods. Makes sense then, doesn't it? So Pencaitland village lands were granted by King William the Lion to Everard de Pencaitland in the 12th century. And he also gifted the church that's there to the monks of Kelso. Pencaitland was the second village town ever in Scotland to create its own community council. And it has a big part in the Reformation as well. John Knox held services in the local church as well. So it's a very historical little place, Pencaitland, and nice as well. Taking a wee detour just to come and look at the little church. Pencaitland Parish Church. There's been a place of worship on this site since the 17th century. Well, this part of the newer building was built in the 18th century, but it's still, I mean, just look at that door, still very old. Stained glass windows would be nice in there with the sun coming through. And the really old headstones with the skulls. And that, is that an egg timer? Some people say going through graveyards is a bit morbid, but I think it's like a great bit of history. You can see some of these gravestones, and for that moment, when you look at an old gravestone, if you can still see the name, for that moment that person's being thought about. Can't really see in there. So yeah, they're interesting. Especially some of the older stones like these ones. So this must have been someone who who worked on the railway or in the mines. Got a hammer there, pickaxe. Is that 1752? I'm not sure. So John Begbie, 1825. And here's a sad statistic for you. Within three generations, wherever you're buried, if you decide to get buried, within 3 generations, no one will visit your grave. That's another reason I like to walk through graveyards and just have a look at the graves. Just to pay a visit, because it's probably a very long time since anybody paused at John Begbie's grave and said his name. That's the way I think, see? Right back on the trail. There's a nice wee bit here. Pebbles for people, a prayer cairn. So you pop a wee pedal down. Decorate it, pop it down. That's nice. Here we are at the little stone arch bridge. Which is now listed, a B listed category. Of course, you have nice lovely views like this until you come around and mankind has spoiled it. All in the name of progress and industrialisation. Now remember people, try and get out and have a walk if you can. At least 3 times a week. It doesn't have to be a big walk. It can be a walk round the block if that's all you can manage. But if you repeatedly walk around the block, you will begin to manage more and get out and get some fresh air, sunlight or light, see people, talk to people, and get a bit of exercise. That's what it's all about. Keeping moving, keeping mobile, trying to keep, trying to keep you moving as you get older, so you're more independent for yourself. And it can just start with a little walk around the block. So give it a try. James. So whether this has been part of the old railway, or is there a dungeon down there with a werewolf or some other mythical woodland creature locked away? Who knows? Luckily it's daytime and there's no full moons. I was tripping over everything there. Then I realised I still had my sunglasses on and it's become a wee bit overcast, so it was a bit dull. Now if you want to go on one of our health walks, our weekly health walks, then find out more on the council website www.midlothian.gov.uk. If you stick in well-being in the search bar, you will come across our page and there's information on health walks. There's all the information on all the Asian whale activities as well that you can get out and take part in. Our health walks are free, and we also have strength and balance sessions that are free, and most of the Asian whale activities are about £2.30, so they're not too expensive to get along to and meet some new folk and enjoy an activity. And here we have a little bridge, a lovely little bridge going over Tyne Water. So Tyne Water that flows through Vogray, starts on the Moorfoot Hills and flows all the way to Tyne River. Nice and calm and peaceful today. Now there's not much of an incline on this route. At the start we do go up, but it's a very steady incline. You probably hardly notice it unless you look back. So it's quite a flat route with decent paths all the way around and lovely scenery, whether we're in the woods or out in the fields. A nice little mural on the wall there. If we walk straight up here, we'll be going to Ormiston. But we're back on the railway line, or the ex-railway line. And you can see a couple of bits of it still popping out. The railway line. And the sun's come out again. Lovely. So we're now back on the Pencaitland Railway route, heading back to where we started. So the Pencaitland Railway line was originally part of the Gifford and Garvold light railway. It was built in two stages, 1867 and 1901, to transport coal, of course. And it stopped being a railway line, or it closed to trains in 1965. And now it's just a great walkway for us humans to stroll along and enjoy the views. There's a big lorry in there just parking up. I couldn't see it from around the corner, and for a minute I thought there was a train coming because it sounded like a train coming. Of course, it would have been a ghost train, but still a train. And here we have one of the little memorials to this is the Meadow Pit. Ormiston Coal Corporation, sunk 1890, abandoned in 1914. Seams worked 4 feet, splint and parrot. 110 men employed in 1910. And the Smeaton Pit is 4.3 miles from here. So still some little remnants and reminders of what used to happen in the area when the coal mines were here. And we've sort of come full circle now. There's the little white gates we went through right at the beginning. The path to Newton and McMurray. And here up here's the bridge we came under at the start. The Puddle Bridge. Or is it the Puddle Tunnel? Nah, it must be the Puddle Bridge. Half a mile to Ormiston that way. And how do I know it's called the Puddle Bridge? Because there's a sign that tells me. Right there. You can see the old metal beams here, all rusted away, holding that up. I wonder how often the structure's checked, because there's a road up there. I mean, you can see the metal going up and round and in. But it's quite rusty. And here we are, coming up to the car park again. You can see the little railway signal tower we saw at the beginning. And the map. And the car park. So join me Wednesday the 24th of June, 10 AM, Ormiston Station car park on the Pencaitland Walkway. We'll do a 6.5 mile walk through Winton Estate, through Pencaitland and back. It should be a nice walk. We'll see you there.